Hello, welcome to another round of Championship predictions from the Honest Football Podcast. I'm Craig Savage, and with me, as always, is Mr. Daniel Cody. Let's have a quick recap what happened in match day 3, and it was a good weekend for myself. 2 perfect scores in there, and they were the Cardiff 1, Birmingham 0, and Wigan 1, Bristol City 1. And just the odd point there for me for Rotherham's victory. Daniel Cody, no perfect score for him, just 3 points for 3 different games. So I win match day 3 by 7 points to 3. So let's get on the midweek action, the first midweek of the new season. Let's start on Tuesday night. It is Birmingham versus Watford. Birmingham lost 1-0 to Cardiff, and Watford beat Burnley by a goal to 0.
Yeah, obviously the Watford game Friday night on telly. It was a great time to score just before the break with Tom Cleverley. And obviously they resorted to any tactic possible to win the game towards the end of the match with the red card, as we saw. But Watford have had a very difficult start on paper and they've picked up 7 points. Forget the fact they scored their only shot on target and Burnley had most of the ball, most of the efforts. They got the 3 points and quite frankly, that's all that matters. Birmingham, pretty poor away performance, to be honest, against Cardiff. They didn't have a shot on target. It was probably more what we expected to see when we made our pre-season predictions, but they were good in the last home game against Huddersfield. Watford, let's be fair, are going to be much sterner opposition, and Watford have been rock solid so far. So I've got to be honest, having seen Birmingham's attack, I can't see them scoring against this Watford team. Obviously, the big news at Watford since we made our last predictions is Emmanuel Dennis out and Keenan Davis in. Obviously, a man who got promoted from this league last year with Forest. So I'm going to go for Watford. I'm not going to go for anything massive. I'm torn between 1 or 2-0. I'm going to go for 2 because I think Birmingham will chase it late on. So 2-0 Watford.
I'm going to go Watford to win by 3 goals to 1. Good performance for Watford in the first half. Burnley were much better in the second half. Yeah. They had to chase the game. Birmingham, very poor. It's typical Birmingham, what we thought. It's not really a loss for Watford now that Dennis is gone. Obviously, Davis is a very good replacement, strong attacker, and he was very good last season for Forest in the Championship. Watford win by 3 goals to 1. Right, next up, Bristol City versus Luton Town. Bristol City drew 1-1 at Wigan, and Luton lost 1-0 to Preston.
Yeah, Bristol City scored their only shot on target. It was a battling away display. I'm not going to talk about them conceding in the last half an hour again because I don't want to get in trouble. But look, you can't keep throwing away leads. That's what I'm going to leave it at. Having said that, still a decent point away from home. Luton, I mean, I said it to you after the game. I'm getting a little bit concerned. I felt that the players come in a bit under bait from pre-season, but this is a little disjointed going forwards. We're missing the dynamism in midfield. Obviously, both Pelly Ruddock and Henry Lansbury out of the weekend. Those that can play the quick switches of play that can move through the lines didn't happen at all. And Preston, we never really looked like we were going to win the game, even before we went behind. We did have a couple of good chances second half, but not enough to have any complaints. Obviously, there was ultimate frustration here last year as Luton battered Bristol City, but couldn't get an equaliser till the last minute of stoppage time. Sorry. I'm going to go for the same scoreline again. Same as last year. Championship's favourite scoreline. Bristol City 1, Luton 1.
Both these teams haven't started well this season. Bristol City do the usual, take the lead, and they completely mess it up again. Luton, if you're going to lose the game to an absolute weldy by Brad Potts. So I've got no complaints on the finish on that at all. I think with Luton, it feels similar to 2018, 2019 when they were in League One, just not they've got the chances, not really taking them, and they started pretty slowly in that one. And I'm not worried. I think once the strikers start scoring, and it'd be absolutely fine. But it's going to take time. Alibi looks still a bit unfit. Morris and Woodrow still trying to blend to the Luton way. So it's fine. I'm not fearing the absolute worst, but this is a relegation 6-point already after 3 games. I think Luton will win this game by the odd goal. So I'm going to go 1-0 to Luton Town. Right, next up is Burnley versus Hull. Burnley lost to Watford 1-0, and Hull beat Norwich by 2 goals to 1.
Yeah, I mean, whisper it quietly. Hull are looking very good after a pretty tricky start again. Conceded a lot of possession against Norwich, Hull, which I found really interesting. And obviously Norwich had more of the chances, but Hull have been clinical. They've got some really good signings that are settling in quickly, and they're starting to look a bit better playing out from the back, and they look a lot more solid than last year. Burnley, similar story to the Luton game, really. Lots of possession and not a lot of end product. Didn't have too many chances. Of course, it potentially may have been 1-1 if it wasn't for the last-ditch red card. But I don't think there's any huge panic. They're two sides that are probably going to get better as the year goes on. Two sides that have had the most turnover of players among the Championship sides this year. I think Hull are going to sit back behind the ball. They're going to try and hit on the counter as they did against Norwich. And Burnley, they'll keep it better. So I'm going to go, do I even go for 0-0? I'm going to go 0-0.
Baffling. Oh, I think Burnley will win this game by 2-1. Yeah, they still got to find a way to learn how to score goals. Only 1 in 3, sorry, 2 in 3 is not one of the highest, obviously the highest in the league. Hull, another good victory, 2 wins at home now in a row. They took full advantage of Norwich's mistakes, which is obviously, yeah, it was comical from a Norwich point of view. But no, you got to take advantage of that, accentuate the positives and hide the negatives. They took full advantage of it. So well done to them. I think Burnley will find it tough, but I think they'll have enough. So 2-1 to them. Right, Coventry v Wigan is off because of Coventry's pitch is horrendous again. Moving on, Norwich versus Huddersfield. Norwich, we just said, lost 2-1 at Hull. And Huddersfield's first win, they won 3-1 against Stoke.
Yeah, and it was a really interesting game, actually, because early on, Stoke dominated. They missed a penalty. They hit the post. And Huddersfield, if they'd let in one of those, I know it's a big if, but you could see the confidence would have been rocking. But it almost seemed to lift them, seeing those chances get wasted. Great to see the Japanese international Nakayama getting on the score sheet. He's going to be key to them this season. And then both Ward and Rhodes getting a goal apiece, getting the strikers in some form. So it's got to be a big lift for them. But this, I feel, is where Norwich's season has to take off because, let's be honest, they've been a bit poorer defensively than we expected. Individual errors, silly goals conceded. And in games against Wigan and Hull, where they've had chances galore, they've just not taken them. Against a poorer Huddersfield defence, who still gave up a lot of chances to Stoke, I feel this is the opportunity for Norwich. And I know I did this in the last predictions and look stupid, but I'm going to go big on this one. I'm going for Norwich to win by 4-0. I just think this is the game it comes to life. If they get one early, Huddersfield, I feel, will collapse.
Not the best starts from Norwich, currently bottom of the Championship, and everyone's favourites to win the title, and they're currently bottom after 3 games. So, yeah, Dean Smith's going to have a long, hard look at this Norwich side. And they found it too comfortable. So, we're back in the Championship again. We're going to walk it, and haven't picked up a win yet. And when you look at those 3 fixtures, you definitely would say that's probably 9 points, and they've only got 1. So, not the best starts from them. Huddersfield needed that win, really needed that win. I'm going to go for 1-1 draw. Right, next up, detail, Preston versus Rotherham. Preston beat Luton by 0-0. You were there. And Rotherham smashed Reading 4-0.
I mean, let's get the Preston one out the way. I mean, it's what we're seeing at Luton every week now. It's a very defensive, low block. They dealt with the threat really well. Robbie Brady on the left added that little bit of quality with a perfect delivery. And obviously the Brad Potts finish, as you mentioned earlier, absolutely superb.
I'm saying it's goal of the season for me.
And obviously you all know from where I sit, it was literally perfect angle direct to me. It was a wonderful finish. But the other interesting story of the weekend was Rotherham, obviously 4-0 up at half-time. Joe Lumley, well, later replicated by David De Gea, in fairness, had a similar weekend, the two of them. It was prime Massimo Taibbi, I got the feeling, from one of those goals. But 4 shots, 4 on target, 4 goals. I mean, it's not going to happen again for Rotherham. They're not going to get many games where they're gifted a win. But they took advantage and they won it. So fair play to them. It will help the goal difference. I don't see it being the same here. That Preston side, not conceded a league goal yet. They're so solid at the back. Maybe not got the biggest threat going forward, but enough to win this game. I thought the attacking line for Preston did work hard, but maybe didn't have the out-and-out quality apart from the goal. I'm still going to go for them to win this, though. 2-0. Sorry, Rotherham fans, but well done at the weekend.
Nothing special about that Preston side, to be honest, but they've done a job and they got the 3 points. So the best away victories are the 1-0 victories. You get the points, you get the hell out of there. So well done to Ryan Lowe and his side set up well to defensively. All right, they got exposed, got opened up a few times, but Luton's attacking threat was very poor in the day. So you got to do what you got to do, and you get the 3 points, you get out of there. Well done, Rotherham. Fantastic. It was what we both want is Rotherham to beat these sides that are probably going to be down there, and they blew them away. And all right, Reading made it a bit easier, but you've got to take advantage of that. And we said that about Hull earlier, taking advantage of Norwich's mistakes. Rotherham have done the exact same thing. So that's a great result. Their confidence will be up now, Rotherham. If they've got to do, once I said, they've got to keep doing it against the teams that are down there. Obviously, Preston's not going to be a team that's going to be down there. No chance in hell. But it's been another tight game. Tuesday night, how confident both these sides will be very high. I think 2-1 to Preston just. Right, next up, Swansea versus Millwall. Swansea beat Blackpool by a goal to nil, and Millwall came from 2-0 down to beat Coventry 3-2.
Yeah, and it's not often that happens to Coventry. It was a very good effort. I know it at 2-2, there was a bizarre double yellow card instant and red card for Hamer, but late winner, excellent effort. And it was classic Millwall. Once the pressure's on, once they've got any sort of momentum, they're very hard to stop at home. Swansea, clean sheet. I know it's against Blackpool, who are probably going to be one of the lowest scorers in the league this year, but clean sheet, late goal. They desperately needed it. And as you say, you can't beat a 1-0 away win. So did the job they needed to do. I do worry about this game because Millwall are going to be a massive threat from set pieces. And I don't know if Swansea are going to be able to handle that. The ball's into the box, the direct play out wide. Swansea are going to have loads of the ball. We know that. If Millwall press up front, I fancy them to win it. We saw what happened in the last home game where a side pressed Swansea. I'm going 2-3, 2-1 to Millwall. I nearly went for 3.
Oh, 2-1 Millwall.
I think Millwall are going to nick it because they'll press Swansea high, and there's always a mistake.
I'm going to have to praise Swansea. Be honest, I for once, I'm actually going to praise them, but there's some negatives as well. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, 1-0. As I just said about Preston, 1-0, get your clean sheet. Well done. They could have had a few more goals. I'll be honest, they had some good chances, but Blackpool also could have had a few as well. But you take what you go, and they probably just about deserved it. Swansea, I'll be honest. So well done to them. Millwall, very good comeback. Ropey defending wise, some set pieces. Have to keep an eye on that one for Millwall, but yeah, they come from behind, and the red card was a red card. I like the second 2 yellows. I had no idea what Heyman was doing, to be honest. Obviously, we can't talk about Coventry, but yeah, Millwall once again at home, 2 wins in a row for them, so very good start for them at home. I think this will be a draw. Swansea will have loads of chances in this game. I'm going to go 1-1. Swansea have loads of chances in this game. They'll score first, then Millwall will nick it later on for the equaliser, and they'll be screwing from that. And I've got no complaints from that from a Millwall point of view. Game management for Swansea. I see how they're going to do with game management if they take lead again. All right, they scored late on Saturday against Blackpool, but if they score early, how are they going to deal with the game management? That's what I'm interested in seeing. So 1-1 for me. Right, next up, QPR. They're playing Blackpool. QPR drew 2-2 against Sunderland, thanks to the goalkeeper. It's gone late on. Blackpool lost 1-0 to Swansea.
Yeah, as you say, Blackpool could have had goals, but it's a concern. No goals against Stoke, none against Barrow in the Cup, none against Swansea, nicked 1 against Reading. They don't look like a team that can score. On the other side of that, QPR don't look like a side that can keep a clean sheet. They've been very poor defensively in recent times. The 2 at Sunderland, of course, the 2 against Middlesbrough, where they gave away a 3-goal lead almost, and then even away at Blackburn, lost a nothing game. So definitely some frustrations. It's whether QPR's attack beats Blackpool's defence. And for me, they probably do, because I don't think Blackpool will take advantage of the chances QPR give them. I still think they may concede 1, but I'm going to go same scoreline, opposite way this time. 2-1 QPR, home side will win. Oh, great header, Senny Dieng, by the way. Great header.
Well, he had chances before that, to be honest, as well.
He kept the first one alive, didn't he?
Yeah, he could have. Let's be honest, Sunderland were excellent. And then they conceded a silly free kick, and Eddie Chesel was a great free kick. I'll be honest with that, very good. But Sunderland should have been outside. And we say about game management from for like Swansea moan, we've got to moan about Sunderland's game management there, because I know I'll be talking about Sunderland more in a second, but fair play to QPR, had a little bit of sniff, got thrown quite a bit of luck. Nice free kick, and then the end scores a header. I really worry about this QPR, so I'm not at all been impressed. I know obviously last weekend they were excellent for 70 minutes against Millsborough. Away from home, I'm not sure on them. I really am not. Luckily, they're back at Loftus Road this time. I'm going to go 1-0 to QPR. Right, Stoke v Millsborough. Stoke lost 3-1 at Huddersfield, and Millsborough drew 2-2 against Sheffield United.
Yeah, Middlesbrough. This is really the thing that's surprising me, is they're the conceding goals. They look poor defensively. And we talked about the attacking line. Obviously, Chuba Akpom has come back with a vengeance by the looks of it. He started really well this season, but I'm not concerned. I'm not sure about them at the back. And for all of Stoke's misgivings on the road, they were solid in their home game against Blackpool, albeit against a side I think are going to be in relegation trouble. But they have been better at home than away for a long time. So I mean, you've talked about which managers are going to be under pressure. I think we're both in agreement that Michael O'Neill's one of them. I mean, I had a Stoke fan in one of my live streams earlier saying he's on borrowed time, and the fans are very much turning. So I do fear for him a little bit. I think if they concede first, there could be trouble. But I'm going for the surprise. I'm going to go 2-1 Stoke. At home, they're a very solid side, and Borough haven't shown anything yet this season defensively. 2-1 Stoke.
I'm quite surprised how open Millsborough defensively under Wilder. Stoke, vulnerable at the back, very vulnerable. Could be a different story. They scored the penalty and they hit the post straight after. But I think 2-2. I'm not saying it's going to be a great game either, but I just think it'd be 2-2. Right, Reading versus Blackburn. Reading got smashed 4-0 at Rotherham, and Blackburn 3 wins in a row now. They beat West Brom by 2-1.
John Dale Thomason looking like a genius, the perfect start. You would fancy them to win this one given their last away performance. I wonder how cautious Reading will be defensively. They did win their last home game, but it was a bit of an ugly scrap against Cardiff. And away from home, they've been shocking. Blackpool and Rotherham, let's be honest, they're two of the teams that we both think are going to be in that 16 mini league, and they've lost both of them away from home and conceded 5 goals. It's not promising. I think Blackburn win. Obviously, these are the sorts of games, say it early in the year, that the Championship can surprise you, but no one's going against Blackburn in this game. I'm going for a 2-0 win. I don't think Reading are inspiring, and I'm almost regretting not putting them in my bottom 3 now.
Yeah, I'm going to Blackburn to win by 3-1. There's a few injuries from this Blackburn side now, so you have to keep an eye on that one. Reading, that 4-0 scoreline doesn't surprise me. I know we've been generous on the predictions last week for this game. That scoreline didn't surprise me at all. And Joe Lumley, he was having a mare last season at Millsborough, and at QPR, to be fair. But then, and now he's gone Reading, and he's done that, and you're like, the man's lacking a lot of confidence right now. And it was terrible. It was really terrible. And Reading have got a really bad problem with goalkeeper department. You saw last season, and the end of it with Nyland against Luton, but atrocious. So Reading really need to pick up points at home. They got the 3 points last time they were at home. Will they get the 3 points from me in this game? Absolutely not. Blackburn to win by 3-1. Right, Sheffield United versus Sunderland at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United drew 2-2 at Millsborough, and Sunderland drew 2-2 against QPR.
Yeah, and both sides are probably considerate points dropped, I think, because both conceded late on. Obviously, the Sunderland one. I think a few of the Sunderland fans have mentioned that Alex Neil went a little bit cautious at 2-0 and just tried to shore up the game. And I don't know, when you've got the momentum at the stadium alike, do you need to do that? Could Sunderland win games more convincingly? A disappointment, I guess, for both home games that they've given away positions where they're in the lead and comfortable. Sheffield United, it's not quite clicked fully yet, but I do believe that they're going to be right up there. Paul Heckingbottom, a couple of little tactical things each time, but started like a house on fire against Middlesbrough. They've played against some very tough sides. Let's be fair, to start Watford, Millwall, West Brom in the Cup, and then Middlesbrough. You're not going to get a tougher run of fixtures than that. So I think this game is a moment where Sheffield United have to prove their promotion contenders. And as a result, I'm going to go for them to win. Sunderland are always scoring, so I'll just go 2-1.
I'm going to go 1-1 in this game. I think it'll be a good game. Sunderland obviously going to travel very well. Tough one with them. I want to call the moment with them. We say good attackingly, but defensively, not there yet. They'll be disappointed to concede straight, but with 10 minutes to go against Millsborough, very disappointed. Sunderland will be extremely disappointed not to get 3 points in their game. You'll have to question the goalkeeper for the second goal. He's trying to come out, and then he's realised, oh, rubbish. Oh crap, I have to come back now. And obviously Dien's lobbed a ball over him and it's gone in for 2-2. So yeah, game management. We moaned about Swansea about game management, Sunderland with game management. You got to learn from that. Harsh reality of the Championship for you. I think this will be a good game. So I'm going to go for 1-1. And the final game, it is West Brom versus Cardiff. West Brom lost 2-1 at Blackburn, and Cardiff beat Burnham by 1-0.
Yeah, West Brom, another side, to be fair, that have had a tough start. I think it's fair to say they were knocking at the door, another good second half performance, but they are just playing in halves at the moment, West Brom. We need to get a full 90 minutes out of them. Cardiff have been gritty. They've not had one convincing performance, but they got 6 points. So quite frankly, who cares? Much better at home than they are on the road. Having lost away at Reading, I can't see them picking something up at West Brom. I'm pretty sure the Baggies get their first win of the season here. I'm going to go for 3-1. West Brom needs some confidence building in front of goal, and I think they'll get chances in this one.
Disappointed to concede that early goal in the second half from Gallagher. So that made them mounting the climb. Got that goal back from Diangana, but it wasn't. I'd say it's too little too late. But they didn't. He had a great chance right at the end with Colin Grant, and he did. And Kaminsky made a good save. But he should really score out if you're a striker. Put this on a plate for him. So yeah, West Brom will be disappointed. Tough run of games they've had, but I think they'll be all right this game. So I'm gonna go for 2-0 to West Brom. Let's have a quick recap what we just predicted for match day for midweek. And Daniel Cody thinks Norwich are going to smash Huddersfield by 4-0. A few 2-1s for him. I think there's 4 of them there for 2-1s. For myself, I think only Blackburn and Watford are going to score more than 2 goals, and a few 1-1s in there as well. And that is our predictions for this midweek's action in the Championship. Do you agree with us or disagree with us? Let us know in the comments and give us your predictions. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the Unspoiled Podcast, and you can be a member of this channel by clicking the join button down below. I'll see you next time.